And we're back. Kitty's on the cat cam. Let's see what we were doing. Hope to get to that right. It's going to look at planters in multiplayer. I'm just going to do a quick little ping in my Discord server. I don't like to at everybody, but I'll update it, make it look new. Having trouble again getting the game to start up. Well, I need to do that right now, actually, don't I? Got to help the customers first. We better go do that. That's hit a number of people in the past few days. And it's bad news, bad news. Let's see. Start single, and it's, I don't even need to start it up. Let's go to UI. Should I start with crafting the story or jump straight into artwork and coding? If you know how to code, yeah, that's kind of an, you can go either way there. I went straight with gameplay, so I knew what the gameplay I wanted to happen and went into the code with that. You could start, if it's a story heavy game, you might need to start with story though, because that can be defining of your, might be super important. To your game. Can I do this? Resolution. How about equals null? Can you be null? I didn't think so. Let's see. On enable, current resolution, clicked resolution. Clicked resolution equals new resolution. Resolution, screen resolution, spawn resolution. How about for the first one, current resolution to screen. There we go. That's what we want. Clicked resolution equals screen dot current resolution on enable. That should fix that. And that's a real problem. So, maybe we should just, yeah, I don't want to patch that right away because that'd take like half an hour, 45 minutes. But let's maybe give it a try. And I added a thing too at the beginning of initial, what is it, company logo is the very first scene. And I thought that I added some stuff here. Resolutions equals screen resolutions. If screen, if width, if current resolution dot width equals less than resolution 0 dot width. See, but I guess 0. I mean that should work. Screen resolutions. Screen dot set resolution. What's the false? False. Full screen false. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that doesn't work. I would like that to work. YouTube works fine. You do. I mean, there are some definitely crappy tutorials. I went with Unity. Unity3d.com/learn, and just did their tutorials, and they're really good too. The code, their whole Learn site, they made it really weird and kind of hard to navigate. Compared to what it used to be. It used to be a lot simpler. But you get here and you go to, see, it's just, they made it really stupid. Unity Learn is start learning. Okay, so it's learn.unity.com now. And then once you get here, now they changed it again. It's just, they just keep changing this over and over. Basically, you want to go to scripting. And again, look at this. It just shows a whole bunch of stupid crap that you don't want. Ugh, they made this so hard to navigate. Rollable is really the best place to start. Rollable is what every Unity user should start with, hands down. That's the way to go. And then I think working with scripts, is this going to be there? No. Beginner scripting, I think this is it. Yeah. So you want to start with Rollable if you haven't done that. This teaches you how to not only code, but how to code in Unity and like how basic Unity works. Very, very good place to start. The next thing would be beginner scripting. Beginner scripting goes through all of the important steps of learning how to code in C#. I went through all of these like 10 times over the course of a year. You know, did them all once, started making stuff, realized I was doing stuff wrong, went through them all again. You can go back to them, whichever one maybe you think you're getting confused about. But this really has all, like 90% of what you need to get coding is all right here. And then if you get some like specific problem that you can't figure out, then just go Google that. And there'll be a YouTube video of somebody explaining exactly how, like literally exactly whatever your problem is. There's just so many tutorials. I put one out last week. We'll probably put one out next week if we can get dungeons in tomorrow and the next day is the plan. So yeah. I'm confused why this doesn't work. Resolution 0 dot width. Let's do like you can see people are getting this thing where it just does, it's like a 1 by 1 thing. I think I'm gonna have to build to do this, so bear with me for a second. But basically what the problem was is that, well, let me get this build started first. We added, or rather in 2019, Unity got rid of that opening screen, and I should really close and reopen these Unities after you build. They get all funky. So I had to add resolution settings, and people were clicking apply resolution before actually selecting a resolution, so it was applying this like dead empty resolution, causing it to go into this weird like 1 by 1 pixel thing. And I tried to set up this method, which should be like the first frame of opening the executable, to look and see if the current screen resolution width is less than whatever should be an acceptable. This like grabs all of the possible what should be acceptable resolutions, and then it grabs the first one out of that array and it looks at the width and says, is the current width less than that width? And if it is, set the resolution to whatever that lowest acceptable resolution is. But it's not doing that for some reason. It's still, people, I've had 3 or 4 people run into this, so we need to patch this in right away. To be honest, takes a minute to build though, takes a minute to upload, takes a minute to patch. And I gotta go again at 3 today. I'll be working again when I get back home, but I'm not gonna be streaming when I get home probably. Yeah. This is causing people problems, so. New player has arrived. Now let's see if that fixed it. Still can't test. Well, I guess I could. So first of all, well, I didn't change that though, so it's still just trying to do that. So we'll just start it up, and I'm gonna go look at the player.log. This should show me, maybe too quick there. Should show me res width 640 by 480. So that should be the minimum allowed width, 640 by 480. So I'm gonna open up the most recent patch, and I'm gonna break it on purpose. by going to settings, and just immediately here I'm going to click apply, and it crashes, and it gets to this weird 1 pixel state. It doesn't know what to do. Do I have to force quit you? Where are you at? There it is. Okay, so now it's broken. Now, the latest build that I just did, it knows it should be required to go at least 640 by 480. Maybe it doesn't even get to that point. Like, I don't know why it's clearly not doing that for me. It takes a minute to load, that's true. You know, 1:30 p.m. It's printing that, but it's not fixing it. So that is a bummer. Because there's some people that are going to be stuck like that. And you can fix it via the console, but like so. I'll just show you. If you type command here, it'll open up a command prompt. And then you can say Solace Crafting exe screen width 800, screen height 600, for example. Whoops. Is not recognized as an in Solace Crafting exe. What's the problem? Oh, I'm not in the right path here, sorry. We need to do that from right here. And that didn't work. What is this? Did I spell something wrong? Screen width looks like it works. Screen height did not work. Screen HEIT. Oh, I didn't put a hyphen there. Gotta have a hyphen there. Screen height 600. And that'll just open it up like this. I don't know why. Okay. I don't know why this. Maybe let's do something like this. I just want it to catch that in the event that it has broken, because it doesn't seem to be doing this for some reason. Maybe this is too quick. Maybe it's not good to have in the first frame. And the new one, see, it won't break it anymore. So that's good. So we won't have new people running into that. But let's go back to the current patch that's out there that does still break. Break it again so we can try and fix it. Or make sure that our override is working, I guess, is what we're going for here. If I click it here, it breaks. We have to force quit it. Where are you at? Did it close? Oh, it did close itself. Okay. So this does not seem to be working. Let's do it again. Let's do like a safety check, because this will be 3.5 seconds later. We'll just say 2. Current resolution. That's all that this guy's doing, right? Apply resolution. Screen set resolution. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to build that out once more. Sorry that takes a minute. Hopefully that will be capable of interrupting those broken screen resolutions if it runs into them. I clicked build, right? It's doing it. Okay, there it goes. Yeah. Can't seem to get my average viewers to go up. Even though it said I had 5 viewers. I guess that was probably YouTube and stuff, huh? I need to get an average viewer count of 3 on Twitch to become an affiliate. So we're just going to build this once more. Hopefully that... Oh, somebody's... Buildings seem to randomly vanish from my towns when I'm away. Anyone else having this issue? A bug report was put up over the weekend. I'll check it out. Town buildings disappearing. It's no good either. But first and foremost, let's try, and we got our little thing. 3.5 seconds later, is he going to catch himself? He's loaded. What's he doing? Why is he not doing it? Let's look at the debug log. We can see the 2 and the normal both being called. So I guess what we need to do is we need it to debug whatever the current settings are, because this if just isn't working out apparently. So let's do debug.log current res, and then let's do, I guess like we need to do, we don't need to do that, plus screen.current resolution.width plus, let's do a comma, plus screen dot, okay, let's get there. Oh, screen.current resolution.height. And why not, let's do screen.current resolution.refresh rate. Maybe that's a problem too. Maybe that's set to like 0. That would be silly. That actually makes a lot of sense. That could be what's going on. Width 0, height 0. So yeah, let's say, well, set resolution and what? Screen resolution, screen.set, preferred refresh rate. How do we get that? Not full screen, int preferred refresh rate. Should we just set that to 30? In the event that things are messed up, maybe that's what's going on. set to 0 and it's just not doing anything. Build that so we can try it out, and this guy didn't say anything else. Yet. Yeah, quite a few things to do today, honestly. Unfortunately. Hit to the doctor's. Gotta fix my towel rack. Some stuff to do in the bedroom. Got some bills to pay. Adulting. Not all that it's made out to be. Once again, sorry for making you wait with me on these builds. I know this is uninteresting, but only way to test the standalone build, unfortunately. I think there is some way. To do like a script only build, now that I think about it. I forget, scripts only build. I think that means it'll only like overwrite the scripts. It would be worth a try in the future. But anyway, it's already done. So we are currently broken. Let's see what happens. Broken, loading up the first scene. Loaded it up. Probably by now. Still broken though. Okay, well, we added some more debug data. Let's see what or are we not in the right folder here? Which did I launch? That's not the right folder. We moved there from this guy, right? Yeah, we launched him. It's good. This is 142. Our second debug. Didn't we add current res beneath that? Oh, there it is. Current res 1920 by 1080 at 59. Oh, really? That's certainly not what it looks like. Why does it think that? When that's clearly incorrect, and what do we have to look at in order to recognize that it's broken? I was assuming that that tiny little window meant that the program understood it was some tiny broken little window, and I could say, if you're a tiny broken little window, fix yourself, but it looks like it thinks that it's big and working as expected. It's clearly not. And this may have triggered do a quick Google search, see if this comes up. Cats are chilling. I don't even know what to search for. Display resolution dialog. Can't change resolution. Unity 2000. Let's see. Window is too small. What's the matter, kitty? Blah, blah, blah. This is all relatively benign information, not related to what we're experiencing. Screen selector example project asset closing script. Yeah, with blah blah blah. I don't know what this is supposed to thinks that it's doing. Screen selector example project. Certainly nothing useful in there. Can't change resolution on standalone build. Unity tip, running a custom full screen resolution. Default native resizable resolution. Why the screen resets? How to fix size reset issue. Unity 2000 window. Let's see what to search for. Screen is starting out too small. Gray screen after startup. Default screen dimensions being ignored after build. This is true. The build player stores the last used screen, which is fine. Once these values are written, there's no effect anymore because you read from the registry instead. Default screen to test modify default screen seems you need to remove the ones registry for starting the game. This is work on it, make it work, which is probably true, but I'm not gonna go into the registry or try to get players to go into the registry. We game to play right now. Fix that via pillar, letterboxing, stretched image, full screen, target aspect, if, scale, height, yada yada. If you change a default setting in the editor, the first time you launch the build, it will force those settings. So they think they've fixed it in newer versions of Unity, which we're absolutely not going to be using. Resolution, Unity interface size, player settings are ignored when building Unity. What to do? This is a problem. I should probably just patch it in right away since it won't be breaking anymore. But what about these people like Eagleblade that have already broken? You know, I can make a post about you got to do this to fix it, which is fine, and then from here on it won't be a problem anymore. But why can't I interrupt this? I don't get that. 30 preferred refresh rate, bool, full screen, false. Full screen mode. What's full screen mode? That's borderless window, right? Switches the screen resolution. The problem is this if isn't firing because it thinks that it's... It thinks that it is... Can I do this? I mean, this just seems really silly. Screen dot resolution dot width. It's width and then height, right? I mean, if it thinks that it's there, and then I tell it to force itself to be there, current resolution dot full screen. No, that's not a thing. That's annoying. What if it's screen dot full screen? I guess that should be saved too, right? Is the game running full screen? And screen dot current resolution dot refresh rate. So it thinks all of this, and there's really no reason that shouldn't work in the first frame, so I'm just gonna get rid of all of that. But I mean, it just should be redundant. I'm just setting it to what it is, but if that fixes these broken players, then it shouldn't harm players that aren't broken at all. They'll just be setting the settings to what they're supposed to be at. I just don't get why it reads as 1920 by 1080 when clearly it's not. Might have to make a post about this later. Complain openly. At last it has warmed up. It's about 2 p.m. here. Sun is shining in. I gotta go at 3. Man, that's gonna be here in no time. But I'll be back. I'll be working at night. I gotta get some more of these bugs fixes and patched in. I might export a patch for this guy while I'm gone. Yeah, that fixed the brokenness anyway. Let's break it one more and double check. It's still just silly. I don't know why it would do that. Current patch. If you click apply resolution before selecting a resolution, it freaks out and crashes the game. So you close the game. And if I were to try and open it again in the old patch, now it worked for some reason. Who knows? It's kind of working now, but it should be more proper now. So it'll go to what it actually thinks that the resolution's supposed to be at. And then you can go to settings and actually fix it. And I have a full screen. Click here. Like say I want to be 1920 by 1080 full screen. There, that works fine. I actually don't want to be full screen. I like to keep it at 1280 by 800 for testing. I'm gonna close that down for now. But so anyway, that'll fix broken people, so that's good. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like set it to what you're at was the solution. I don't understand why that is necessary, but if it works, it works. Now, we tested this and that worked too. I think we want to try full screen.isOn, and we also didn't do, we're missing a few things here actually. Clicked resolution dot refresh rate. And what if this is actually the full screen mode? Now we can do maximized window, full screen window. This is windowed borderless, right? Exclusive full screen. That's just good old full screen, right? So this is what we're currently doing. So I want to actually add a button, a toggle for windowed full screen, because some people like that. And let's say have we put any callbacks? We have not. You want to do void start full screen dot I don't quite remember how to do this. I want to add a callback, which I'm pretty sure I do under settings UI, something along the lines of this: on value changed, full screen dot on value changed. There we go. Full screen on value changed. Add listener. Change full screen, and I'm also going to add one to the windowed full screen called change windowed full screen, and I'm not sure that these need to be public or not, but we'll go ahead and make them public void change windowed full screen. And I believe this needs to have the bool fed to it. And likewise, we'll have one of these. And here we'll say if change, if windowed full screen dot is on, then we want windowed full screen dot is on to equal false, but actually only if value is equal to true, like so. Same thing over here, and basically this is just making sure that you only check one or the other. You're either full screen or you're windowed full screen. You're not both. And then let's do a quick little shorthand if statement here to say no, I take that back. Let's go ahead and do full screen mode FSM equals full screen mode dot windowed. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Starting to go away though, maybe not. It's the worst. If you're gonna sneeze, just sneeze, buddy. Now, if windowed full screen dot is on, then we want full screen mode to equal full screen mode dot full screen window, I believe. Else if full screen dot is on, then we want to do full screen mode equals full screen mode dot exclusive full screen. Otherwise it'll default to windowed. Oh, not double equals, these are just equals to. How do I download nude assets? Can't find some anywhere. For Solace Crafting, there are no nude assets. Solo developers don't have time to be toying around with stuff like that, unfortunately. And it's intended to be a, family game. There was a dude in here a while ago that was really bent on getting nude assets set up. And I was unfortunately unable to help him out. He got kind of mad and left, but there are people that are, smart enough to do stuff like that. If where there's a will, there's a way. I'm not going to be spending time on that with the 700,000 things I have to do. This we now want to do FSM collect resolution dot refresh rate. Do definitely want to make the game as moddable as possible when the time comes, so I'm sure somebody will be working on those. Default is windowed. If we go to if windowed full screen is on, we'll go full screen window. I believe that is correct. Let's just check the formal parameter value. Oh, so I guess we did not need those. We just want to say if full screen dot is on is true. That's kind of redundant. So if they're both on, turn that one off. Likewise, if windowed full screen dot is on, yeah. We'll just double check that logic first in the editor. I would have to totally disagree with that. Game Maker Studio is better at some things, definitely, but it's a much more limited game engine compared to Unity. I would be pretty surprised if someone was able to make something like Solace Crafting in Game Maker Studio. It's way too complicated for that. But not all games are complicated. It's certainly a viable engine for many, many games. Oh, I don't even have... I forgot to set up the button for that. Let's go into this prefab, and we want to open up Settings UI. But no, I've never actually... Yeah, I've actually never used it myself. For 2D, it could be better. You might be right. I've never worked with 2D in Unity, and I've never worked with Game Maker Studio, so you might... I mean, that's always, up to the individual's preference, but you're not the only one that I've heard say that, so you could be totally true, or correct. People pretty much hands down say Unity's better for 2D than Unreal, but Game Maker Studio might be even better than Unity. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Just gonna copy these, move them over like this, get them at somewhat decent position, and I'm gonna call this one windowed full screen, and windowed full screen title, which I will now change to windowed full screen, and I'm gonna have to extend him out quite a bit, moving him back. Looks like everything's up 15, and how's about 380? Is that just about right? Save, back out of that, make sure we're grabbing it, or we did it serialized, so nope, we'll go back into that actually. Settings UI, no, we did it resolutions, like so. Windowed full screen. There we go. And I want to close that back up and turn the news back on, save it back out. Let's test it out. Yeah, Unity's not, I wouldn't say Unity was designed specifically for 2D. So if something was specifically designed for 2D, you would expect it to be a little easier. I might argue, though, that Unity might be a little faster at 2D, depending on some of the stuff, because they have, I know they have really good sprite packing and compression and texture atlasing and some pretty good stuff. So it probably comes down to how fancy you want to do it. I honestly don't know, though. I don't mess with 2D at all, to be honest. Full screen, so it knows how to do that. Only lets us do one or the other. Let's once more build this just to double check. Make sure we're getting everything correct. Somebody, that's Danity, he's cool. We'll get to him in a second. Let's take a peek at Game Maker Studio. I don't really actually know anything about Game Maker Studio. This is going to take 2-3 minutes to build, so latest and greatest. So it is purely 2D, right? Making games for everybody. Easy to get started. What language does it use for coding? Looks like C#. GML. Is that game maker language? Its own proprietary programming language. That's a bit of a bummer. It looks more or less like C#, but that's a bit of a bummer. You gotta learn stuff specifically for it. There we go. I keep it a secret, but there is actually a game that I want to make after Solace Crafting that it's not really 2D though. I mean, I originally was going to do it 3D, but the more I think about it, the more I want to do it 2D. But I want to do it, I guess, like 2.5D. Kind of like, you know, like Civilization, or like, I guess those are, what am I thinking of, like Stellaris. Full screen, 1920 by 1080, apply. Okay, that worked. What about windowed full screen? Which is really the same thing, it's just that that seems to work better for some people. Or 1280 by 800, we can go windowed. And what is this? What are you talking about? Update this. Okay, well, that's a problem. Current resolution.text equals screen.current resolution.toString. It doesn't look like it's doing that properly, does it? Maybe we need to do that a frame later. Let's do void update. And let's make a bool called resolution changed equals false. And let's say if resolution changed equals false, and we want to do this. And that's not quite enough, is it? Full screen is on. Screen dot full screen mode is what we want now. Screen dot full screen mode. If you, sir, are equal to exclusive full screen, then full screen is on. Failing that, full screen is on equals true. Failing that, full screen dot is on equals false. And on enable versus start. Yeah, it should be fine. Screen full screen mode equals this. If so, do this. Otherwise, do that. What's the problem? Platform windows in full screen mode. None of platforms support all modes. That's fine. I'm doing an if statement. Settle down. doesn't want me to do it shorthand. It's fine. Likewise, if windowed full screen window, then you want to do windowed full screen equals true. Window full screen. Window, there it is. That looks good, doesn't it? And the reason we did this is because we want to add this update. Those should be fine. We're doing, if folders are not here, we want to do resolution changed equals true. So the next frame, this will pick that up. If resolution changed, current resolution.text equals screen.resolution, resolution.change equals false. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to build that out once more to test it. If resolution.length is greater than 4. What? Right. That's fine, that's fine. Clicked resolution, screen resolution, current resolution. Don't know why that isn't working either. Or is that how we fixed it? Yeah, that is, isn't it? Screen.current resolution.text. It should be all good, all good, all good. Alright, let's try and build it one last time. Unfortunately. Not being very cooperative with this stuff. We've got a problem where if people click apply screen resolution before they click on an actual screen resolution, it breaks the game and then it gets stuck in this funky little like 1x1 pixel window. And I've fixed it so it doesn't do that. Right now I'm adding a full screen window mode button just to give that option. And it seems like it was not updating the display text for the current resolution if I call it immediately after setting the resolution. So I changed that to do it the next frame, because I think it has to run some operations before it actually gets to that properly. And we can't test that in the editor, unfortunately, so I'm exporting an actual build, and we'll give it a double check here. And hopefully we'll be done with this, so I can get something else done before I gotta go. Yeah, game developer doesn't necessarily mean video game developer. It's a really overused term too. Like, you know, are you an animator? Are you a designer? I mean, are you the guy that, where's the cutoff for, um, people in human resources? Are they game developers for big companies? I'm a little confused now. Windowed full screen, full screen. We tried all of that. Well, this still says 1920. I ask you to be 1280 by 800 windowed. Still not updating this properly. What is the deal with that? And what if I click it again? You're still not doing that. And then if I close this, close, quit, open it again, it's going back to that setting. Why is it doing that? It's like using the registry keys, not letting me update them. I do play Dungeons and Dragons. I had DM a campaign for my buddies. Fifth edition. This is just confusing me. It's not doing what it's supposed to do, or I'm not understanding it properly. Dungeon Master's rough. I like being a player too. I like being a Dungeon Master too. I like both sides. I definitely like role-playing. Fun character. If you've got a good GM. Buddy of mine's a really good DM too, so when he runs a game, it's really fun. He's got music and voices and maps and everything, all real nice. This just isn't working. The current screen resolution, read only. Set resolution, switches the screen resolution. Switches the screen resolution. It's like this one thinks it's talking about the monitor, whereas this one thinks it's talking about the application. I'm very confused how this is supposed to be used properly. If the player is running in window mode, this returns the current resolution of the desktop. Wow. VR settings eye texture width and VR settings eye texture height should be used instead of this. That's not what we're doing. Okay, so what do we need then? We need window, or is it something built into application? Unity window width. I'm playing a paladin tank, and I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit. We just hit level 4, and we decided to allow features. So I took on the heavy armor master. So I've got damage reduction for slashing, piercing, and blunt 3. I've got splint mail +1. We literally just picked up yesterday. And big shield, and I took defense, so my AC is 21, and I just walk in front of the party like bring it. Like I don't do I don't do a lot of damage. I can smite, but I can heal like crazy, and I can tank it up. I'm having fun with that. Everybody else likes to build damage, and I figured since I'm the GM, we kind of needed another player in the group, because there's, it's just hard to get guys together every play session. But screen width again, this is not correct. So I don't make decisions with the paladin, and like I let them move him around, but then when battle starts I take control. It's pretty fun. Screen dot width. If the actual player is all screen. Screen dot width is the actual width of the window, of the player window. So resolution is going to give me the desktop resolution if I'm windowed. It just seems really stupid why those aren't separate. So I have to do if screen dot full screen equals false. I got to do something else. Otherwise I can rely on this because it's the same. So I need to do current text equals something like what? Screen dot width. Is there like a current resolution? That just seems really poorly designed, Unity. Screen dot width. Does it say that? Screen, the screen window. And let's just do what? Plus x plus screen dot height plus space plus screen dot refresh. I guess I have to do current resolution dot refresh rate, which isn't gonna matter if I'm in windowed, but whatever. Refresh rate, and let's just see what that prints out for us. We don't have to build to look at that. You can call him a capitalist for playing Monopoly. I bought Japanese Monopoly, and just because I used to play that with my grandma all the time when I was a kid, and thought my wife's family might find it interesting. It's kind of a hard game. I mean, it's just all of a sudden you're bankrupt. It's kind of not as fun as I remembered it. I think my grandma gave us a really long leash so that we could have fun with that game. My wife's family got really into Settlers of Catan for some reason. I bought Japanese version of Settlers of Catan, and we played like 30 games over the course of like 2 months. We're totally going to play like 20 games for New Year's. You can bet money on it. You could do it on just paper and dice, definitely. I mean, especially if whoever's dungeon master is good at describing things. Like if you can get like smells and sounds and, a good description of what's going on, then you don't need maps and stuff. You can just say. I'm going to move up this way. I'm going to move up that way. We're using roll 20. And it is nice to be able to have, you know, my guy can move 30 feet, so that means that I can move up to here, and this goblin can only move this far, and no, you don't have line of sight right now, and stuff like that. But, screen resolution, not what I wanted you to do. Screen resolution, screen. Do I have to build again? Let's look at the code once more here real quick. This is apply clicked, and I don't allow that in the editor, so that's not going to work anyway. Let's move this up here as well. Current resolution dot text is getting set right there. We'll do that, and it's also getting set when we turn things on right here. Let's double check that in the editor first real quick. And I wanted to look at that format too. It says something after refresh rate, the number there. If you've ever seen, might be a neat clip for you to look at, you know, Matt Mercer, who's a Critical Role Dungeon Master. They have a, I don't know actually what that is, if it's like a TV show or Netflix or something like that. But he did a thing where he did a solo one-shot for Stephen Colbert. And it was pretty interesting because they didn't do any maps or anything, I don't think. It was just Matt Mercer describing the setting, and there we go, that worked. But yeah, it wants to say hertz here, at and then hertz. Okay, so we'll do that. And then Stephen Colbert just saying what he wanted to do, how he wanted to respond. It was pretty neat. I don't think I ended up watching the whole thing, but still, this should fix that. No, you didn't like that. Who's a what? Oh, and well, we need a plus here, and I want to copy that to all the other places as well. So that explains our problem too with where is it? What is it? Company logo. So we're doing this if statement. Actually, we ended up getting rid of those. But this is not okay if we are not in windowed mode. So if let's see, screen dot current resolution dot full screen, was it? No, screen dot full screen. So if we are not in full screen, we need to be doing something else. Otherwise, for people that are broken, they're definitely not. So let's, yeah, only if we're not in full screen, and screen dot width. I guess this is what we haven't looked at to see when things properly break. So let's turn this back on for a test, and not you. Well, I guess I'll leave you guys on anyway, but I'm gonna make one before you that says screen, and I'm gonna do screen width and screen height this time, which should now be the window in those cases that were broken. So if we're not full screen, and the width, is less than, say, 640. Or the screen dot height equals less than 480, then you definitely want to set screen dot set resolution to, let's see, 640 by 480, full screen mode, windowed, and we'll just leave, can I not leave that alone? What was the first option? There we go. Full screen equals false. And I think that'll go ahead and just give us our default screen refresh rate. The sun is burning my neck. I used to play Warhammer. Have not in a long time though. Like 20 years. We used to play fantasy and 40k. Screen.set resolution. I think that is good. Only if we're not full screen. Let us double check. Just to be sure here. Plus, yeah, let's do plus period plus screen dot full screen. Okay, now I gotta build this out once more. And I'm gonna break the game again using the current build, and then I'm going to go and check if that fixes everything, now that I know that Unity treats those things the way that it does. And I'm gonna go close my curtains here real quick. I always get crazy sun for this half hour a day. I had a lot of fun playing Warhammer. I think we used to, we never really followed the point rules very well, and I'm sure it's changed a lot in 20 years, but we would always have like really overpowered general with a bunch of items on it that was like 50% of the points for the whole army. But definitely some fun times making Warhammer terrain and painting miniatures. I got buddies that still paint miniatures. For one of our guys, he painted, I think he painted a different model for each of our D&D campaign characters. He did some hand drawings. I think actually he only painted his own self. He painted a model for his character. I think our rogue painted one for himself as well. But yeah, I was never a very good painter. It's unfortunately an expensive game when you have to buy stuff one at a time like that. So let's open up the, not the beta, let's open up the current patch. I'm gonna break it. Now I want to see what these debugs give out. Close it. It's fine. I don't need a report. Test build. So I'm assuming this is going to fix it back to 640 by 480, which it did. That's good. And let's see what the debug said. Screen width height 1 by 1 false. So yeah, it was in fact breaking to 1 by 1 pixel. It's just that we were checking using the desktop size, which is not the fix. So good. Now this will fix for sure broken people rather than just trying to set it to the desktop. And once again, let's double check that, for example, I can open that up and it's still 640 by 40 as expected. Going to set it to what I like it to be at, and that looks good too. 1280 by 800 windowed. That did not update yet still, so I need to fix that. In windowed mode, I thought that was going to update. Let's do close, and on enable, now it worked. So it's just a little late on that. Takes a few frames, I guess. I had a game earlier this year that we played for a while, but the DM was trying to leave it really open for us, and we kind of just ended up running around not knowing what we were doing or why we were doing anything for like 3 or 4 sessions. After, like, this was like, we probably had like 10 sessions, and it was really fun starting out. But then we got to the point where we were just like, we don't know what we're doing, we don't know why we're doing it, we don't have any motivation, and everybody just kind of quit. So that was a bummer. So I've been talking really openly with my players, like, how can we better incorporate your characters into the story? You know, what do your characters want to be doing in this world? Because I have the main quest line, but it's you know, it's a lot of encounters to get to level 8 even, you know. And those don't all have to be handcrafted for whatever your main plot line is. Sometimes it's better to just, like, I gave a few side quests to specific characters. You know, this is obviously for the monk, and then at the end of it there was a reward that only the monk could use and stuff like that. But we've only been doing it for about 6 months, I think. So hopefully it keeps going. I'm enjoying it. This is working as intended. I'm going to turn the debugs off. Am I using these? I'm not. And we got rid of all of that. Now this guy still is not updating this properly. Resolution changed equals true. Let's say I want this to just like wait for, let's see, clicked resolution. If screen.fullscreen equals false. Well, I guess, I mean, it's only while this window's open, so how about we do something like this. Current resolution equals new resolution. What's the matter? Oh, that's okay, let's do, we'll just go like that for now, and let's change this to current resolution text. And now we can change this guy to... There's some really cool stuff on YouTube if you haven't looked around. Let me see here. I've got a lot of subscriptions. I don't think I subscribe to those guys anyway. That might be on a different account. Might be on my phone. But anyway. Yeah, the dungeon dudes are pretty cool. And then taking 20 is of course cool. What is Geek and Sundry is Matt Mercer. There's this one guy that's just all about GMing. What is his name? Oh yeah, that's the Taking 20 guy. Taking 20 guy is pretty cool. How to be a great GM isn't bad. Here we go. Matt Colville. If you look up Matthew Colville on YouTube, he's got a bunch of videos on being a good GM. And I really liked I learned a lot from watching some of his videos. Definitely recommend that if you're looking to up your dungeon master skills. So I'm not going to do this anymore because that's not working. What I'm going to do instead is current resolution equals clicked resolution. Resolution changed. Nope. So update if current resolution if if screen dot we gotta do this whole windowed crap again, don't we? So if the screen is full screen, if screen is not full screen, and again that's just kind of silly. If screen is not full screen, and then if current resolution dot width does not equal screen dot width, or current resolution dot height does not equal screen dot height, then I want you to update. So whenever that triggers, right. And so I don't want you to set that here. If we're not full screen, if the current resolution not so full screen current resolution current resolution. If we're not full screen, the current resolution dot width, and this is not read only, this is getter set. Current resolution dot width equals screen dot width. Again, I'd prefer if this were like this. This turned out to be a lot more complicated than when I started doing this. Screen dot height and current resolution dot refresh rate is equal to screen dot refresh rate doesn't exist, so we need to do current resolution dot refresh rate. Okay, failing that we can actually, in this case, just do current resolution equals screen dot current resolution. This is going to get the desktop resolution because we are in full screen mode. And then you can just string that. And then during update, if the screen is not full screen and we're not changing this anywhere, so yeah, we don't need you. Set resolution. If current resolution dot width does not equal screen dot width, or current resolution dot height does not equal screen dot height, or might as well current resolution dot refresh rate does not equal screen dot current resolution dot refresh rate. Then once again I want you to do this whole spiel. Failing that, basically we want you to do this again, but likewise only in the event of you being different. If current resolution dot, can I do that whole thing? But instead do, let's see, screen dot current resolution dot width, screen dot current resolution dot height. Let's bring this one down, and that's fine there. Current resolution, yeah, like that. Okay. So this is unfortunately running an update, but again, only when this window is active, which is fine, and it's really mostly just going to time out on this check here. Yeah, I mean, it's just not something that we'd like to be doing, but not public. Valid for that item. What are you talking about? 110, 123. Public void. Did I miss a if? I did. Bracket like that. There's a really big D&D server that I left. Nope, I'm still a part of it. Look at this, 2,769 online. That means that there's thousands that are offline. And this is, it's DWB RPG, and it's mostly based around 5th edition Roll20. So people are always recruiting for campaigns. Yada yada. It's just, DM channel. D&D graveyard where people report their character deaths and stuff like that. So if you need to find a group, this would be the place to go if you don't have, like, real life buddies. And there's other ones. I think this is the biggest one, though. And I've asked some questions on here is all. I don't think I've never, actually engaged with the people on here. But cool server nonetheless. Let me just see, one of my buddies is messaging me here. Anyway, do I have to build this again to look at this once more? I do. It's annoying. Is it 3? Dang it. Well, I gotta go to a doctor's appointment. And it's gonna take me at least 20 minutes to get there. And they're probably gonna make me wait for like a half an hour. And then it's gonna take me 20 minutes to get back. Not excited to go, but I've been having trouble swallowing. Gone all kinds of different doctors. And so I'm going to go to this new doctor. Just going to give this a test real quick, and then going to have to sign off for the day. But I will be back tomorrow morning. And I'm going to keep working on this tonight. There's some bugs I want to squash, get a patch out today. And then we get back to the procedural dungeon tomorrow, so we can get the boss working, and then we'll plug it into the actual game. Right now we've just got it as that standalone project, and actually plugging it into Solace Crafting to get it to actually load dungeons for players with loot and monsters and all of that is going to be a whole nother process. Shouldn't take too much though, honestly. The cave system is pretty much already set up to be doing that. So we're just going to set up a dungeon version of the cave system, kind of. And then get them spawning out in the world. We'll have to have a dungeon entrance. That's kind of the big thing. Some kind of a, broken castle or something that you can see and go into for the dungeon to load and generate. Maybe we'll just build that by hand. We'll see. Looking at settings, and I broke it. What's going on? I broke it. Why did I break it? How did I break it? If this current resolution, not text, should only be changing the current resolution and the current resolution, not text. That's not actually being used anywhere except on enable and in update. So what happened? What's the problem? Close, open it. Why is there 2 here? What's going on? Shoot. I was hoping that would just be the last build there. I don't think there's even a text box down there, is there? Settings UI. Let's close the news to take a closer look. There is a second screen resolution thing down there. Why is there even? Contents, master, title, where's resolutions? Resolutions, contents, current resolution, resolution title. Screen resolution, current resolution. Current resolution text on enable is supposed to be getting set if we're not full screen. If we are, Is it because I renamed that and you are currently not... Where are you? Resolutions. There's it is, no text. So that probably errored while it was loading. And so we need to do current resolution text. That's you, sir. Alright, one more time. I'm 4 minutes behind schedule here, but what are you gonna do? One last build. Gotta get my mask ready and my... What do they call it? Choking spray. What's the, the disinfectant? Gotta go out into the real world. It's dangerous these days. Corona apocalypse. Honestly, the main reason is because I've been doing this for 3 years and I started getting really lonely. I just sat here quietly, or, I'd put music on, but just sat here and coded for like 3 years straight and was starting to get really demotivated. Wife suggested I try streaming. Started doing it, and it's actually been really, really motivating for me. So I'm really enjoying it. Even if there's only 1 or 2 people in at a time. Somebody stops by, says, hey, it's just kind of the feeling of somebody could be watching, It's really been a good motivator for me. I'd totally be down if, Twitch or YouTube want to level me up as an affiliate and let people leave tips and stuff like that, because that would be awesome. Starving artist that I am, but actually not that far from getting Twitch affiliate. Alright, now it's working. 1280 by 800. Let's switch it to this, and then it worked. Okay, so I think everything is working as we want it to now. So, at long last, we can write that off as finished, and I'm sorry that that has bothered some people. Let's go ahead and let's see, who is this? Fixed the window settings, size, screen, resolution stuff for good. We'll patch in later today. Alright, I gotta sign off, and I'll be back in the morning. Thanks for stopping by again, Stopnut, Drew, Legendary Shark, everybody. You guys have a good day, good night, whatever time, season, location you may be in.